All right, so CHARONIUM. I'll admit, when I first heard that name and then, started digging into their whole deal, death, the underworld, NFTs, steel plates, it's a lot, right?
Definitely seems like they're going for a vibe, that's for sure.
Yeah, like ancient myths meet cutting-edge tech. But beyond the theatrics, what are they actually offering? And should we even care? That's what we're diving into today.
Let's do it.
One of the things that jumped out at me right away was this STYX token. They're really pushing it as the key to their whole ecosystem.
Yeah, it's definitely positioned as more than just your average cryptocurrency.
Right, like what does that even mean for the average person who might be interested in Charonium?
Basically, it means holding STYX unlocks specific benefits within their platform. Think of it less like, just buying a digital coin. It's more like getting a membership.
A membership too.
Yeah. To an exclusive club, I guess you could say. But this club revolves around, well, digital legacy in the afterlife, apparently.
Okay, interesting. So you're in the club, you've got your STYX tokens.
Yeah.
What's next? What do you actually get? Bragging rights.
Well, they have this STYX special deal. If you hold a certain amount, and we're talking a significant chunk here, 200,000 STYX tokens.
Wow. Yep.
You unlock additional perks. One of them is exclusive access to their decentralized autonomous organization, their DAO.
All right, so we're talking governance then. Token holders get a say in how Charonium develops. That's something we see with a lot of DAOs. But how much influence are we really talking about? And what are their plans for its development? These are things we need to look into. And I also want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier about STYX being more than just a standard cryptocurrency. They're implementing a 12.5% burn rate on all product revenue, right?
Exactly. It's an interesting strategy. By burning tokens, they're permanently reducing the supply.
Which, theoretically, could make the remaining tokens more valuable over time. It's all about scarcity.
Right. But that's where understanding their tokenomics becomes crucial. They've outlined a total supply of 690 mels in STYX. A portion goes to the team, some to strategic investors, a treasury, and so on. How those tokens are allocated and when they're released into circulation, that all plays a huge role in STYX's potential to gain or lose value.
Okay, so we've got to keep a close eye on that. But Charonium isn't just about the STYX token, right? They've got this whole suite of products designed to, make this whole digital afterlife concept a reality.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to create a whole ecosystem.
And when it comes to products, I think we've got to start with the fragments. I mean, security is a big deal for anyone in the crypto space. And this idea of storing your keys on a steel plate is intriguing, to say the least. That sounds like something out of a spy movie.
Definitely eye-catching.
But how secure is it, really? That's the big question. Speaking of intriguing, we've got to talk about these obelisk coins. Like, they're really bringing back this ancient concept, right? Coins as payment to enter the afterlife. And they even have them in copper, silver, and gold.
Yeah, they're definitely going for that whole aesthetic.
But these aren't just like fancy collectibles, are they?
Not quite. Each obelisk coin has a digital twin, an NFT, and that's your ticket into their underverse.
Okay, so the Underverse. We've heard the name, we know it's supposed to be this like legendary realm, only accessible to obelisks and high-level STYX holders. But what does that actually mean for, the average person? Is it just a cool digital hangout spot? Or are we talking actual tangible benefits?
It's tough to say right now. Details about the underverse are pretty scarce.
Yeah, they describe it as a digital sanctuary, a hug for the Charonium community.
Right, but without concrete details, it's hard to know what that actually means. Is it a game, a social platform? We need more information.
Agreed. Definitely a key piece of the puzzle we need to uncover. And you can't do a deep dive on Charonium without talking about legacy. This is probably their most ambitious offering, right?
Yeah.
Using those fragment plates to actually restore access to your digital assets after you're gone. It's like digital inheritance with a physical key.
Yeah, very Indiana Jones. On a conceptual level, it's fascinating. I mean, they're trying to solve a very real problem. How do you ensure your digital assets are handled according to your wishes after?
Exactly. But then you get into the nitty-gritty, and it gets complicated quickly. How do they plan to navigate international inheritance laws? Those are all over the map.
For sure. And what happens if, down the line, their technology becomes obsolete? There are a lot of what-ifs.
Lots to consider. Okay, ready for something even wilder.
Hit me.
Eternal. AI-powered messages from beyond the grave.
Yeah, that's straight out of science fiction.
It's like, imagine receiving a birthday message from a loved one years after they've passed. Is that comforting? Creepy. I don't even know.
Ethically, it brings up all sorts of questions. Grief, consent, what death even means in a digital age.
And what about the potential for misuse? Could someone manipulate these AI ghosts?
Right. It's a powerful technology. Big potential for good, but also for, things to go wrong.
Totally agree. It's clear they're not shying away from these big questions about mortality and legacy. But can they actually pull it all off? That's what I want to know. And that takes us to their roadmap. Do they have the goods to back up these big claims?
Well, they've got an aggressive timeline, that's for sure. Some things, like the fragments and the obelisk coins, those are already available.
Right, but the more complex stuff like legacy and eternal, those are 2025 and beyond.
Yeah, and developing a secure and legally sound inheritance system, that's already a huge task. But then you add AI that can convincingly emulate someone's personality. We're in uncharted territory.
It's a lot, and we haven't even touched on their Hades Keys NFT game.
Right, because every blockchain project needs its own metaverse game these days.
It's becoming a trend. Though with this one, I'm not entirely sure how it fits into the bigger picture. Is it just a way to, like, onboard new users through gaming? Or is it a core part of their vision?
Yeah, is it a revenue stream or something more integrated into their whole digital afterlife concept? That's something to clarify.
Definitely. Because speaking of visions, who's the team behind all of this? Who are these people bringing CHARONIUM to life?
They've got their core team listed on the website. Nicholas Stickler, he's the CEO. Daniel Gosterseer, handling the finances as CFO. Tobias Vandal, leading the tech side as CTO. And then they've got a whole team focused on marketing and, of course, tokenomics.
So a pretty standard setup for a blockchain startup. But they do highlight this Austrian blockchain award they won. Does that carry any weight?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Awards like that, it's not just, anyone can win. They usually go through a pretty rigorous evaluation process. Industry experts looking at a project's innovation, feasibility, its potential impact.
So it's a good sign. Doesn't guarantee success, of course. But it tells you CHARONIUM is on the radar of some important people in the blockchain space.
Yeah.
So we've really gone deep on CHARONIUM.
We really have, haven't we?
Yeah, the STYX token, the fragments, their whole underverse thing, even this, like AI-powered afterlife they're building. And it's obvious they're not just chasing the latest blockchain trend.
They're definitely aiming bigger. It's ambitious.
Yeah, they're asking these huge questions about death, about legacy, about our digital selves. Like, remember at the beginning when I said I was a bit skeptical? I'm still trying to wrap my head around some of this, to be honest.
It's a lot to process.
It really is. What gets me, though, is how CHARONIUM forces you to face this reality. Our digital lives, our physical lives, they're basically the same thing now. But what happens to all that digital stuff when we're gone? Should we have a plan?
It's not something we tend to think about.
Exactly. And maybe that's what CHARONIUM's trying to do, get people thinking. Whether or not their approach is the right one, well, that's up for debate.
It's definitely a conversation starter.
And they're not afraid to push the boundaries, are they? It's like, how do we even define inheritance and legacy in this digital age?
It's almost philosophical in a way.
It is. It's like a Black Mirror episode. Like, do we want our AI selves sending messages after we're gone? How much control do we really want?
Yeah.
It's kind of creepy.
There's definitely that element to it, but then again, technology often is. It's so true. But these are questions we've got to grapple with. And not just because of CHARONIUM. This is bigger than them.
Oh, absolutely. This is about how we navigate this digital future.
Exactly. So here we are, end of the deep dive, and I feel like we have more questions than answers. Is CHARONIUM the future of, death and legacy? Are they geniuses? Are they just really good storytellers? Who knows?
That's the beauty of it, though, isn't it?
It really is. But here's the thing. Don't just take our word for it. If something about CHARONIUM piqued your interest, dive in, explore, see if their vision resonates with you. Because ultimately, the future of our digital lives is up to us.
Couldn't agree more.
Until next time, happy exploring.